Subversion of expectations, something that writers and producers are now using as an excuse when they get called out for their lazy and incompetent writing. But there's nothing wrong with subversion of expectations as long as you have the execution there and as long as this subversion is meant to benefit and grow and enhance the story. Look at The Empire Strikes Back, one of the greatest reveals of all time. Expectations were subverted. No one saw that coming. And once that happened, we as the audience looked at everything through a different lens. Everything that comes after that moment has now been changed. All of our anticipation, we're looking at everything through a different lens now. And then we go back and retroactively watch everything that came before that moment, and it changes every aspect of that. That is how you subvert expectations, by growing the story and enhancing the story with your big reveal. Look at The Sixth Sense. Everybody watched that movie, got that big reveal, and the expectations were subverted. And they were subverted because it fundamentally changed everything about that movie and how you as an audience member viewed that movie, because the execution was there and it enhanced every single aspect of the story. Fight Club is another great example. Once we get the reveal at the end of Fight Club, suddenly our expectations are subverted and we retroactively go back and watch that film from a completely different perspective, and the entire story has been changed for the better. That is how you subvert expectations. But when someone like Rian Johnson and now Benioff and Weiss want to fall back on the excuse of subversion of expectations, no, that is not what subverting expectations is. You guys have just done a bad job of developing the characters that you had control of. And when you look at a situation like the Night King, and the very first thing we see when we start the series of Game of Thrones in Season 1, Episode 1, we see the White Walkers, and they have developed that story. Now, it hasn't been a very prominent story at the forefront, but it still has been there from the moment we begin this series all the way until Season 8, Episode 3. When you kill the Night King, that was not subversion of expectations. You didn't do anything to benefit or enhance the story. Nothing changed. You just abandoned a storyline that you spent time building up. You can't go back now and watch Game of Thrones and get anything different with the Night King or the White Walkers. You're not watching it going, wow, I'm watching this from a completely different aspect now, and this enhances the story. No, that's not what happened. That was not a subversion of expectations. That was a lazy and incompetent way to write something. You wrote yourself into a corner. You didn't know how to get out of it, so you just did some stupid shock value moment to try to get yourself out of it. That's all that was. That's not subversion of expectations. And don't even get me started on everything with The Last Jedi. That was not a subversion of expectations. That was a troll. Rian Johnson is a troll. Rian Johnson had the opportunity to get into Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy did not micromanage him. She allowed him to troll the entire Star Wars fan base. That is not a subversion of expectations. That is someone that is incompetent and stupid and lazy. And Rian Johnson is on record talking about the fact that he's a lazy writer. So that's not a subversion of expectations. That was just flat out incompetence and laziness. So the next time you hear a filmmaker respond to his criticisms that it's someone subverting expectations and the audience doesn't understand, yes, we do understand. We understand that you're making excuses for your own incompetence, and we're not going to stand for it. We're not that dumb. We're not going to sit there and just buy your excuses, because there is nothing wrong with subverting of expectations. But the execution has to be there, and with the subverting of expectations, it has to benefit and complement the story. And when it's done right, these moments will be remembered forever as iconic moments. Have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.